First and foremost, I hope everybody had a wonderful Thanksgiving. I hope everybody was good on food. I hope, whoever made the mac and cheese was the best mac and cheese maker. I hope your turkey wasn't dry. I hope I didn't have good. I hope, I can speak. I'm already starting to fuck it up. I hope everything was good with your family. I know mine's was. I had definitely enjoyed my family and everything. I'm a Cowboys fan, and the Cowboys won, so it was a good Thanksgiving for me. So that's that's good thing. Now, with that being said, I meant to be doing this before Thanksgiving, but time flies, and here we are now. Okay, what's the better time to do it than now? And plus, I don't have to go to work until later on today. I want to talk about someone is trying to separate black men and black women. I don't want to fully blame this on black women. I don't want to fully blame this. I don't want to because I don't know who, but I don't know or where does it start or anything. But I know that in this society, we're more single than ever, and most people are more single than ever. There are a lot of people that want to get married but feel like they can't find the right person because it's on both sides. It's really on both sides. I'm not even just trying to just put it on one side. It's on both sides, and I'm like, there is someone out there purposely trying to separate us. Now, I can look at both sides equally, and you could say it might be everybody's problem, but I feel like in this generation, we need each other the most, and yet we're trying to not need each other. Now, for the women's side, I don't know if y'all have heard of decentering men. Um, there's this movement, and I feel like it's going to get bigger, but a lot of people don't understand what it is. Um, but it's a lot of it's a lot of things that I feel like when first of all, where sometimes with these people to decentering men, I feel like they just had bad majority of them. I could look at majority of them, and you could tell like they just had bad dates after bad dates, and chasing men that that was no good for them, and it's probably just used them for sex and all the other stuff. Like even some of the women that look it's just decentering men. Honestly, they kind of look pseudo lesbian. So I am going to play a little bit of this video because I feel like it's coming from a YouTuber, Amala Ekpunobi. I think you've seen her. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you. This Jesus Christ. I'm sorry. Now, the video I'm showing you. She's mostly like, I think she's very right wing or something like that. She kind of people that look like you see on PragerU, but like, but she doesn't like feminists at all. So, but she and I will probably be going through the same thing. So I'm going to share this video.
All right, guys. Well,
Now we're not going to go through. We're not. I am not going to go through an hour of this. Just so you know, we are not going to go through an hour of this, but we are going to go through some of this video, and then you're going to. I believe some of this will be proving my point. So, um, let's see. The feminist decentering men thread.
now speaking of shared misery, let's talk about decentering men. Are you guys ready for this conversation? Now, a lot of you.
Just in case I was muted the whole time, we're going to go through this YouTuber, and then she's going to be talking about the decentering men trend, which I have been seeing, and I think it's going to be like the female red pill. So we're just gonna go through a little bit of this, and then I'm gonna give you your thoughts on what I'm talking about.
When you read the title for this YouTube video, you said, what does decentering men even mean? You know, buckle up, guys. I'm going to give you a little crash course here. So the feminists sort of assert that women are raised and socialized to center men in their lives. What are ways that you center men, you ask? Well, putting your relationship with a man above your friendships. That's an example. Getting ready in the morning and thinking about how you look when other men see you, and wanting to be particularly pretty, or, you know, and somebody who gets the male gaze, meaning men are attracted to you. That's a way to center men. Being worried about hurting the feelings of men is a way that you center men in your life, and just sparing their feelings all around. And in general, this idea that young women have of wanting a relationship from men and putting that at the forefront of their brain, constantly identifying as single or in a relationship. This all revolves around, in their minds, centering men. So, of course.
Now, I believe there's a her generation, and like she put it to me, I just think that, you know, me, I've always said this: women are naturally selfish. They're going to look out for themselves before they look out for anybody. The thing about men, and I've always said this about men, even though we will look out for ourselves, we'll be the ones that will sacrifice ourselves many a times just to make sure you're good. Especially like the men of olden times. I'm not saying the men in this time wouldn't do it, but I'm saying like it's more or less like a prideful thing that, you know, men before us done it. Like hell, my father's done it. He's like he sacrificed a lot for me and my family, and so is my grandfather. And I'm pretty, and like to me, I would want to do the same. So, you know, men. I always say this. Yes, we have our selfish ways, but most of the majority of the times, if anything has to go down and anything has to be done, men has to do it. Also, the thing about these centering men, it's just that if you're a straight woman, and I've always said this, if you are a straight heterosexual woman and you're looking for a relationship with men, you're going to make yourself appeasable for men. Just like how men, if we want a relationship for a woman, we got to make ourselves appeasable to women. That's human nature. I feel like, and this is one of the things where I said, why somebody is trying to separate us. You're supposed to make yourself appeasable to other people. That's, you know, when I put stuff on and I want to look good, I look good for the women. I don't look good for dudes be like, yeah, you know what, you look clean. I do, you know, I'll get the compliments, I say thank you, but you know, I'm trying to catch the women's eye. So I'm gonna look nice, I'm gonna dress nice, and all this. So she be like, damn, you look good. He's cute. He knows how to take care of himself. If I come out sloppy, they're not gonna look at me good. So just and vice versa. So this women is the only, like I said, women are the only species. I swear, they just like want to do the opposite just because to do the opposite. But your biological meaning is just like you're going to want to get the attention from men.
With that being the truth that they subscribe themselves to, there is now a massive movement around decentering men in our lives. Let's watch a few TikTok videos just to lay the groundwork here.
This is your daily reminder that decentering men from your life is a daily.
Not to be funny, but I do know this because I've seen a couple of decentering men, women that wants to decenter men. Some of them are pretty, but some of them are really fucking hideous. And I'm not being like funny and all that other stuff. Look, I'm an average dude. So like, but some of these women just, you be like, I feel like they've been passed. Let's just say that. They've been passed on by men. And then I feel like, you know, this is their answer. You know, I could be wrong. But that's how I feel.
Daily practice. Decentering male approval, male attention, our internalization of the male gaze, like all of it is a daily practice, and some days are a lot easier than others. Forgive yourself. It's not your fucking fault. It's the water we're swimming in. And decentering men from your life is it feels like you're constantly swimming upstream. But this past year I started taking poetry classes taught by Chelsea Diane. I love that woman. And in one of her classes, she told us a sentence which blew my mind. I swear to God, this one sentence helped me unravel years of internalized misogyny. Chelsea said that she has never met a man more powerful than her. Not to say that he doesn't exist, but she has yet to meet him. You have never, ever, ever met a man more powerful than you. Not to say he doesn't exist, but you haven't met him.
Ooh.
What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? More powerful, like how? Mentally, physically, socially? Like, what do you mean by that? And this is like you never just like, what do you mean? You ever just asked her what do you mean by that? I just meant it one. But and I'm not saying that women are weak, but it's just like, what do you mean by that? It sounds good, yeah, but what does it mean? A lot of things can sound good, but you should break it down what it means. If you're gonna follow something, at least try to figure out what it means. You didn't even explain.
Okay, let's get into that. You have never ever met a man more powerful than you. What are the odds that that's true for all the women that have seen this video? And this video got 204,000 likes. So what are the odds that all 204,000 of those who like this video, who were presumably predominantly women, have never met a man more powerful than they are? And we can use powerful in many different ways. It could be strength, it could be intelligence, it could be just overall, emotional intelligence, whatever you want to use to define power for yourself. Have you really never met a man more powerful than you? And even if that were the case, if you are, a heterosexual woman who wants to be in a long-term relationship, at some point build a family and build just a stable, structured life, surrounding family, wouldn't you want to find a man more powerful than you? Wouldn't that be your goal? For me personally, that's where I'm at. When I set out to find, the man that I was going to be in a relationship with, the metrics that I'm looking for is somebody who's way beyond, smarter than me, stronger than me, or, shows up more charismatically and confidently. You're looking for somebody who is going to outdo you, at least in my personal opinion. So to have to grapple with this idea that you've never met a man more powerful than you, either A, it's not the truth, or B, it's a really, really sad reality that we don't have men that are able to contend at the same levels as women.
I always had a problem when people say that because a lot of people compare our generation, and I'm a millennial, and down to more or less likely the generation before us. And because I feel like they live somewhat tougher lives, they're more charismatic. I feel like maybe in this era, it was like because most millennials was raised by single mothers. I wasn't. I had a full, so I've always had a father in my life. I've always been charismatic. I've always, people everywhere I went, people enjoy my company. I make sure that it's just like I don't, and I could be competitive too because I don't want people to outdo me, especially if I know I'm good at something. I'm going to do my best. I don't want people to outdo me. When I was going to school for film, I wanted to have the best film in the class all the fucking time. Like I've had, like there's been times where I've taken over or I've had the idea. I'm like, we need to do this, this, and this. There was one class we killed them in every class. But the first time, and I'll give you an example. First time, there's this brother, a Spanish brother named Alvaro. I'll never forget this brother. Really good at what he did. Really smart brother, really good at what he did. And he formed a team. And that team, just kept the same few people because he knows how to work with them. He did this video. It was like some type of trailer for a zombie joint. It wasn't even like Fort Rosa, but it was just a trailer. But the trailer was so fucking well done. I was mad. You like you don't understand. Like I was mad because I didn't get a video done because I was trying to get people to like at least do the video and no one fucking showed up or try to a lot of but this was just like the beginning. When I saw that and I'm like, I need to step my game up because that shit was so high quality. He had his own be mind you, he had at that point he had his own camera, he had his own lighting, production team. The one dude did the writing. He kept the same people that act, and like all this shit was shot well. It was just shot well, and I looked at that and I was like, damn, that shit is awesome. So the next time I took the class because I had to repeat that class, I'm not even gonna hold you because like every time I try to get an idea out, it never fucking pans out. So the next time I took the class, I had like one simple squad, and one of them was like a brother that he was in audio, but me and him was just like we've been cool because like we would play Super Smash Brothers in the lounge or some shit like that. But when it came to the work, we got the work done. And when I tell you, I had make sure everything was good, everything was good, and it got to the point where it was just like I had the best video throughout the whole fucking class, and from that point on, I had to make sure, and I set that standard for myself. I'm having the best video in every class that I have to show my video in. So, what are you teaching this? Where are you getting this from? Because that's a long story. I feel like men and women are raised different. And I've always said this. I feel like men are we're more or less raised to like, okay, you just get through school, find a job, and then settle down. If you're smart, you're gonna get pushed to college. But even then, most men we're just pushed to work. Go find a job. You need to go get yourself a job. You need to get yourself a job. Women, I feel like they get pushed to school to get their degrees, to go chase their dreams more or less, to be a little delusional. Go find a man that's going to take care of you. Go find a man. It's like all that other stuff. So I feel like and Sergeant Willie Pete said this too. Where black men and black women are raised different. We're more or less about work, and then like this is why like when people go after the 9 to 5 working man, it's like you say men get butt hurt, but it's just like no, we're out there doing the work, we're out there doing the labor, we're out there building buildings and doing all the stuff that there's majority men that a lot of women don't be in, and then in your air conditioned homes, you talk shit about the men. I know Andrew Tate said something about that too. It's like the men that built this country, the way we set our laws, we set it around so you can say that men are trash. It's just like, and men are not trash. It's just like men do everything. So think about that. And then like every time you hear about men, you shit on men. So, which is what I'm saying. It's just like, who are these people? And especially some of these now you can say feminists, like the independent women feminists, but I know there's women like her that's just like, she's not like other women. So it's just one of those things. It's just like, who is saying these things?
In this modern day and age. Taylor, how do you feel about this idea?
I don't know. When I hear it, it's like, to me, it just comes off as one of those weird things that people tell themselves. Like, fittingly, my mind goes to like Dwight hyping himself up for the sales visit in the office where he's like listening to the metal music and punching the chair behind him. Like, it's like, if you have to manufacture that much, like, you're not more powerful than me, man, I'm more powerful than you. It's
right.
Like, is that really genuine way to internalize like a sense of self-confidence? Like, I get it. I think this whole idea of decentering men, like, yeah, you don't want to have this unhealthy sense of I need my validation as a person to come from another person
right.
that I'm trying to get in a relationship or something like that. And so to the extent that that's what they mean by this, I'm like, okay, yeah, you don't want another person to be the center of your universe. But I think you can quickly overshoot and make an overreaction to that, to where you get into this weird space of like, I'm totally self-dependent, I don't need anybody, men are evil, men are the devil, they've been trying to oppress me by everything. And it's like, that seems like an overreaction, and it's probably not going to push you, or it's not positioning you to land in a healthy, happy, fulfilled, balanced place. Seems like that's going to push you further in a camp that is going to have a weird aversion to healthy relationships, and having a weird aversion to men. And
I want to also add, like, if you ever been to places where, like, I'm gonna say the military for me, they want to push you to be great. I feel like there's a lot of stuff, like if you ever on a football team, they push you to be great. It's one thing to have fun, but if you like men, we know that men, we're competitive by nature, so you want to be great. There's a lot of things. If you have like a father, this is why people say fathers are important, because the fathers will push you to be great. I feel like if you have that healthy dose of family that pushes you to be great, and instead of, and I'm not saying single mothers don't, but someone that if you go out there, you take your liquors and they tell you get up and go back out there, it's like you need to instill that toughness. I always feel like as men, you have to instill that toughness. You got to know that you are going to take licks, and then you have to get back up and fighting. These are the things that I feel like everything. Godly, the Discord. I'm sorry, that's just bugging me.
It's just not setting you up for success, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. And it's not to say that you should center men in your life, right? As we were saying, it's just that maybe you don't have to take this just overreaching approach to throwing them out of whatever circle is in your life right now. I think it's one thing to accept yourself, to not want for others validation, and that's cool and that's fine and that's dandy, but it seems like there's a lot of overcorrection to where it becomes like just pushing out the opposite sex, and it becomes this back and forth, which is the same argument that I use for red pill content creators. They often overcorrect for feminism, and then start pushing women away, demoralizing them, dehumanizing them in a lot of ways. And the same can be said for feminists. I think there's this like happy center space that we could all be in that doesn't involve anybody being directly in the center of all the conversations we're having and everything that we do in life. But I can guarantee you that if you are a woman who wants to find a man to be in a relationship with, to build a family with, at some point he's going to have to enter that that center circle that you are living in, and self-loving in, and having all this self-positivity towards, because that's how healthy relationships work. But here's another video, and this woman is going to coach you and say that essentially decentering men revolves around getting your bag. Let's hear it.
I don't know who needs to hear this, but the amount of time that you are going to spend in a day thinking about a man, crying over a man, being upset about a man should be directly correlated to how many thousands of dollars you have in your bank account. Because why are you expending your resources, your mind, your best resource here on a man when you could be upgrading your life? If you got thousands of dollars in your bank account, okay, I'm gonna lay off you for a bit. You get like 3 hours to think about a man. But if you don't have bands, there is no reason you should be thinking about a man. No reason. Think about your own life. Think about yourself. Think about why you don't have bands.
I'm not going to be that one of the dudes is like, money isn't everything. Okay, money is a tool. That I've always said this. Money is a tool that you need to get through life. Now, it's good to have a lots of money, because just trust me when I say this, if anybody wanted to be a billionaire, everybody would want to be a billionaire, right? But worshiping money, I think that's where like it gets real cringy to me, because it seems like a lot of society worships money instead of just like using it as a tool, especially if it coming from poor neighborhoods, or have this whole get the bag and hustle culture and all that other stuff. because it's just like, oh, you all about that money, and then it's just like, how are you getting this money? And most people, they'll sell their soul for some money. Y'all know about them Klondike bars? It's just like, would you do this? And then it's like, no. Then would you do this for a Klondike bar? I always look at that as a metaphor for money, because a lot of people would do anything for money, and it's just like they'll say or do whatever just to make sure the bag is secured. Now, you can do both. You can think about men, or men. You can think about women and getting the money at the same time. That one thing is not going to stop you from getting the bag. So you know, I don't understand this. And then I've always had this saying, because these women is just like, I probably got I'm pretty sure I had this answer to me before, and I said, why cannot you not work on both? Like, be a mother and um, you know, have a job, or have a job and a career at the same time. Pretty sure this question was answered to me before. I just can't remember. But the whole, like I said, look, most people, they don't worship God; they worship money. So I feel like if you you're one of those people, then God bless you. But I think you're also one of the people that needs help, and maybe you're one of the people that separate. It's just like, you need to worry about getting that money. It's just like, bro, this is like, especially in this society. And I will say this: it's just like, if you're good enough, you're gonna get money. Money will come to you. Money, especially if you're really talented, you know what the hell you're doing. You're gonna get money. Money's coming to you. If you help, like, that's why scammers exist the way they are now. So to me, it's just like, if you're good enough, money will come to you. If you're dumb enough, you're not going to get money. But you got to be smart in here.
Okay, that's one way to think about life. Okay, so she asserts that if you don't have enough money in the bank, you don't have enough resource, time, energy.
Also, I don't even know why she said that, because not like women spending money on men like that. Men is usually the ones spending the money. We're the ones taking you out on dates. We're the ones that if you want a Birkin, like, we got to buy you the Birkin and all that other stuff. It's just like, I know women are just like, they get money and then they don't really want to spend their money on it. So, which is fine. You don't need to spend money on me. I don't expect you to spend money on, but I know that men, when we like our women and all that other stuff, especially when we like somebody, it's just like, we want to make sure they're good. We'll spend the money just to make sure you're good. I've seen that happen.
Energy to be worrying about a man. Get your money up first, then you can worry about a man. And I can understand, again, where the argument is coming from. But also, you better think about how good or bad that man is. I mean, if you're bothering with a bum, okay, then yeah, move on with your life and, worry about yourself, improve yourself. Now, improving yourself does not mean making money. And I think that's what she's getting twisted here. If you are messing around with a bum dude, right, okay, and he's not helping you in any way, shape, or form elevate yourself, be it mentally, physically, even monetarily, if that's as far as we want to go.
I've always said that. Before she gets to a second point, I've always said that. For some reason, and I guess a lot of people look at the people with the 9 to 5 as bums, which is why a lot of 9 to 5 men, like, we get mad at that. It's just like, some of these men, like, they make 100, they do 9 to 5. They're making good money. They're making decent. They're making good, decent money. I know some people that have a 9 to 5 to make over 100,000, and I'm going to be looking at the bum because of my job. That's because I'm not rapping or sell drugs or athlete or some shit like that. I think, like I said, and this is my other thing, that women don't really know how the economy works, because if you really did, it's just like, you would know that that guy that's working a 9 to 5, he probably got a good job and he's taking care of himself. Also, and I've also said this, because a lot of women think it's just like, when they tell you to settle, and I don't use the word settle, but we're just going to use this. When they tell you to settle, feel like you're thinking, oh, you want to date a bum or a dusty, or it's like, no man has ever said that. if anything, a lot of the people in the red pill said the same thing that this woman does said. I've said that too. This is, we don't. I'm not telling you to date a bump. We're not going to tell you to date someone that has no money, that has no ambition. I wouldn't tell you that. That's settling. I mean, yeah, that's settling, but we're telling you like there's men out there that's working their ass off, and they just need a good woman to their side. And if you're the good woman that you say you are, why don't you fuck with them? They probably fuck with you too. They probably like you too. That's all we're saying.
Then maybe he's not somebody that you need to be worrying about. But if you have a good man, and a good man that is pursuing you and is there for you, I got some of the best advice I've ever gotten in my life, and that was you should pursue your significant other and who you're going to spend the rest of your life with at the same rate, if not more, than you pursue your career. Because who you end up with as a significant other is going to alter the trajectory of your life, either positively, net positively, or net negatively. So you better take that very seriously. Money and bands and thousands of dollars, this stuff comes and goes. Where you're constantly in a state to make more money and to work towards ourselves. But finding that person who is going to be with you for the rest of your life through the thick and thin, rich and poor and all that stuff, that's a much harder task than being able to get some money. Now, there are two very prominent women in my life who found themselves in situations of having chosen a significant other who wasn't there for them at the end of the day. And those two women ended up having to hustle really, really hard for money because they had not built, a strong enough career to support their families when their husbands left them. So that's something to consider too, a safety net of some sorts, or at least a skill set that that you can rely on. But it by no means signals to me that you should just pursue a bag before you worry about finding love and significance in your life from, our counterparts, our male counterparts.
I'm going to end it here. She basically said a lot. So we're just going to stop the video and we're going to end it here. Yeah, it's like it's one of those things where I've said myself that it's just like we need, like my whole thing is we need each other. There's things that money is not going to comfort. There's things that sometimes being a career independent woman or all that other stuff. It's just we, especially in this time, and I said this before, and I've said this many times. In this time where we really need each other, and I feel like the most, I feel like that, we're not, we're separated. Let's just say that. It's the time we need people the most, and black men and black women, we are separated. Men, we need the women, and women, we need the men. Your life doesn't have to be centered around men. But there are going to be days where you're going to need somebody on your side that is going to hold you down. And, most importantly, because, I've said this many times, it's just like, and like, I feel like everything is just pushing to promote singlehood or like singleness, single and loneliness. It's just like, even with the sex toys and the roses and the male sex toy where you got this contraption and you put on your penis and it kind of like jerks you off on your own without you really jerking you off. And like people don't see that. It's just like, but it's just like, but also, we could talk about the marriages, like Joe Smith, and this is going to be a different video, but I want to say this, like Joe Smith's wife, and that, that was a porn star that started the OnlyFans and all that other stuff. It's just like, we see, like on the red pill side, we see things just like Joe Smith's wife, where, she's doing things in spite of her husband. You know what, that your husband is not with that, but it's just like, oh, all about getting the bag. I'm all about getting the money. Now, granted, a lot of men is just like, oh, that's Joe Smith's club. But we looking at that man, it's just like, yo, I kind of feel sorry for the brother because so and so, she's acting like a 50-year-old grown. She acting like a 50-year-old child, like doing everything just to spite this man. It's just like, damn, if this man didn't do nothing to you like that, why you treating him like that? It's like we look at, and then a lot of men we look at that, and we going, why would I want to marry? Why would I want to marry? If that's what my outcome is, it's like that's like I'm telling you, like yes, it's realism and it's real as shit. But yeah, shit like that scares me. It's just like, well, I don't want to get married. If that's what I'm going to look forward to, I don't want to get married. And like, can you blame them? Like, seriously, can you blame men for saying that? Now, with the women, I understand that. Yeah, there's some piece of shit men out there too, but um, just like I'm gonna tell the men, it's like I know there's some bomb ass women that's just like they want to treat the men like this is why I like some of the people that some of the women channels I follow, like they care about men's emotions, they care about men's feelings, men need their like I've always shout out it's Tay Baby. It's just like you got women like her that's just like, yo, she kind of like pushes for men rights and men to be open emotional and she calls out the women's bullshit as well. There's people like I don't watch the whatever podcast, but every clip I see is like there's always a woman. It's like the opposite of the OnlyFans model and some shit like that. It's like what you're doing is wrong, or what you're doing is whole behavior, or you're just fucking it up for people like me. And like it's Tay Baby that's been on there too, as well. It's just like in short, fuck with people. Fuck with people that fuck with you. Let's get to me, and I will end this here. And making sure I don't repeat myself, but fuck with people that fuck with you. That's always been my motto. Fuck with people that fuck with you. If you're worried about not finding public, I'm pretty sure there's assortment of people that will love to have you around. That will appreciate you and not just tolerate you, but they'll appreciate you. Once you find that circle, and then once you find those people that just want to be around you just because you're good or you're vibe company. That's a wonderful thing. And then some people, you do, and because sometimes you do need to improve yourself. Once you improve yourself to a place where you're good mentally and physically, and even financially, that will come. All right. Now there'll be some bullshit. As long as you don't steer away from the bullshit, the good people will come as well. All right. And just always grow to be a better person. And I'm pretty sure that will follow. So let me know what y'all thought about this whole thing. Which decentering man, are we really is society trying to separate us instead of just bringing us together? Because like let's be for real, like they talk about the marriage rates being declining, but damn sure not doing anything to fix the problem. So let me know what y'all think. Till then, my name is Oskino Fly, and I'm out. Peace.